So these two category of connective tissue we have discussed. One is loose connective tissue, another are dense connective tissue. So another set of connective tissue are the specialized connective tissue. In a specialized connective tissue, first one is blood, another is bone, and third one is cartilage. Let's have a brief overview about blood as a specialized connective tissue. Blood is a red color fluid that flows in blood vessels. Blood is composed of two components. One is a plasma and another one is cellular components or blood cells. Plasma constitutes about 55% of the blood. That is, a healthy person has a blood volume of around 5 to 5.5 liter in an adult person. Then 55% constitutes plasma and the remaining 45% constitutes blood cell. Plasma is a yellow color fluid. It is composed of around 92% water and the remaining 8% are solids. And out of 8% solids, some are organic solids like proteins, lipids, glucose, enzymes, hormones, non-protein nitrogenous substances like creatinine, urea, uric acid, xanthin, hypoxanthine. So these are organic components. Inorganic components of plasma constitutes sodium ion, potassium ion, calcium ion, magnesium ion, chlorides and bicarbonates predominantly. So about blood cell, total blood cells account to 45% of the blood volume. Blood cells based on function and structure are of three types. One is red blood cell due to their color, and red blood cells are also called erythrocytes. A normal red blood cell count in adults, in males, is about 5.5 million per cubic millimeter, whereas RBC count in females is 4.5 million per cubic millimeter. Each RBC contains hemoglobin, like this is an erythrocyte, it contains hemoglobin. So total hemoglobin in adult male varies from 15 to 70 gram%, and total hemoglobin in adult female varies from around 12 to 14 gram%. Each RBC is biconcave, has 70.2 micron in diameter, narrow in the center, wider at the periphery, and dumbbell shaped. And RBC performs the function of transport of oxygen from lungs to body tissue and transport of carbon dioxide from body tissue to lungs. Next category of blood cells are leukocytes. We also call them as white blood cells. A normal count of leukocytes in an adult person body varies from about 7,000 to 10,000 per cubic millimeter. Number of WBC or leukocytes increases during infection. So leukocytes are further of two categories. When the leukocytes do not contain granules in the cytoplasm, these are called agranulocytes. Agranulocytes, depending on the function, are two categories. One is lymphocytes, Another are monocytes. Monocytes are basically phagocytic in nature, engulf and destroy pathogens. Lymphocytes are two types. One are B lymphocytes, other are T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes produce antibodies, and antibodies are responsible for antibody mediated immunity or humoral immunity. Humoral immunity. T lymphocytes, they perform phagocytic function, engulf and destroy pathogens, and they provide cell mediated immunity. So regarding the lymphocytes regarding the lymphocytes which contain granules in their cytoplasm, they constitute granulocytes. Depending on structure and function, granulocytes are three types. First category is eosinophils or acidophils. These lymphocytes respond to allergy conditions. Second category, basophils. These have function similar to mast cell. These secrete histamine during inflammation. Fourth category are neutrophils with multi-lobed nucleus. These have defensive function. These perform first line of defense in body. And this is a diagram of WBCs. This is a monocyte. It's a giant cell with almost spherical nucleus. This is eosinophil, which contains granules in the cytoplasm. And this is the nucleus, which has two lobes. This is again a basophil. These are also contain granules in the cytoplasm. And the nucleus is almost bilobed. This is the neutrophil containing granules in the cytoplasm. And nucleus, here it shows three lobes. So it is multi-lobe nucleus it has. So these are a category of lymphocytes with the nucleus almost circular or spherical. Third category of blood cell are platelets. We call thrombocytes. Their normal count varies from about 1.5 to 2.5 lakhs in a body of an adult. These are essential for blood clotting. So next type of specialized connective tissue is bone. A bone is a rigid connective tissue which forms the endoskeleton of human body. So what are the components of a bone? Bone has three components. First category, cells. Second category, matrix. And the third category, fibers. A bone has three categories of cell. One is osteoblast, which produce organic matrix. Osteocytes are the mature osteoblasts, and osteoclasts are the giant cells in bone which bring about bone resorption. So osteoblasts perform bone formation, osteoclasts perform bone resorption. So these two physiological activity, periodic bone formation and periodic bone resorption, are necessary for remodeling of bone. We call it remodeling of bone. Either of the activity, either excessive bone formation is pathological or excessive bone resorption, we call osteoporosis, is also a pathological condition. There should be a coordination between bone formation and bone resorption. And what's the component of matrix? Matrix contains calcium phosphate to form hydroxy apatite crystals in bone. So another component is calcium carbonate, which provides hardness. And bone contains fibers, predominantly collagen fibers and type 1 collagen fibers. Now regarding types of bone. Bones are two types. One is compact bone, another is spongy bone. Let's see in this diagram. It's a diagram of a long bone. The outer part of this long bone in yellow color, it constitutes compact bone. Compact bone is also called cortical bone. So inner red colored part of a bone, this long bone, it constitutes spongy bone, which is also called cancellous bone. So in this way, bony tissue is two types. In a compact bone, which forms the outermost part of a bone, is composed of osteons or Haversian system. It's the weight-bearing part of bone. So I will describe in detail what is Haversian system in next slide. Before that, we discuss in brief features of a spongy bone. It's also called cancellous bone. It is the inner part of the bone which sufficient spaces called marrow spaces. Spongy bone has a network of bone structure that is called trabecula. Trabecula contains spaces called marrow spaces, and marrow spaces contain two types of soft tissue. If it contains red tissue responsible for RBC formation, then it is called red bone marrow. If marrow spaces contain fat cell, which are inactive tissue, doesn't perform erythropoiesis or RBC formation, then it is called yellow bone marrow. So this spongy bone here in this diagram is of red color, and we can consider it as red bone marrow. This is a detail about Haversian system in a compact bone. Haversian system is a prominent features of a compact bone or cortical bone. Haversian system comprised of following components. This system contains a centrally placed canal that is called central canal or Haversian canal. Second part, Haversian canal is surrounded by concentric rings of calcified matrix. Say one ring, another ring. Starting from the central canal, outward there are different layers of calcified matrix. So we call them as concentric rings of calcified matrix. This is called as lamella. Third component, in between two lamella, there are spaces are present. These spaces are called lacuna. Fourth component, a lacuna contains a mature osteoblast called osteocyte. Lacuna contains osteocyte. Fifth component, a lacuna give rise to minute canals. These are called canaliculi. These canaliculi arise from one lacuna and they integrate, they communicate with the next lacuna. In this way, there is a network of connection between different lacuna in the compact bone. This interconnection in the compact bone helps to transmit blood circulation and nutrients. So these are a feature of Haversian system. So I will try and explain with the help of a diagram. This is a central canal. It contains this one, lymph vessel, vein, artery, and nerve. These are present in central canal. In central canal is surrounded by concentric rings of calcified matrix. These are concentric rings, and these contain lacuna. This is one lacuna. This lacuna contains an osteocyte. And a lacuna gives rise to canaliculi. These canaliculi are interconnected with the canaliculi of adjacent lacuna. As in this diagram, this is a central canal, Haversian canal. So these are concentric rings of calcified matrix. These thin these thin fiber-like outcomes, these are canaliculi. It's a lacuna containing osteocyte. So these components, Haversian canal, lamella, lacuna, osteocyte, and canaliculi, they together constitute a Haversian system. It is also called osteon. So this is about Haversian system. Spongy bone are characterized with the presence of tubercular system. A tubercular system is a network of highly irregular and branched pattern in bone, like this in this diagram. These are trabeculae. In between trabeculae, there are spaces, and spaces are called marrow spaces. And marrow spaces, if they are hemopoietically active, then it is called red bone marrow, necessary for erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis is a formation of RBC. It is inactive, then it is called yellow bone marrow. Then they contain adipocytes or fat cells. Next specialized connective tissue is the cartilage. A basic gross difference between cartilage and bone. A bone is a rigid connective tissue, whereas a cartilage is a firm but soft and elastic connective tissue. The one peculiar characteristic of cartilage is that it is avascular. But then how it survives? Cartilage doesn't have any blood vessels, but the nutrients diffuses inside cartilage from the surrounding tissue. And similar way, the waste substances from a cartilage are diffused out in the surrounding tissue. It's by way of diffusion. The cartilage survives. So what are the components of a cartilage? Just like bone, cartilage also has got fibers, cells, and matrix. The fibers in cartilage are predominantly elastic fibers or yellow fiber. They are made up of elastin protein. They provide elasticity to the cartilage. Cartilage also contains collagen fibers, which are of type 1 collagen, which are thick and condensed. They are primarily present in fibrocartilage. Type 2 collagen fibers are thin and delicate. These are found mostly in hyaline cartilage. About second component are cells. Cells in a cartilage are chondrocytes, which are matured cells, and these are found inside lacuna. Lacuna is a space in matrix which contain chondrocytes. And another are chondroblasts. These are the precursors of chondrocytes. These lays down the organic matrix of cartilage. So next is the ground substance or extracellular matrix. It is made up of mucopolysaccharides or heteropolysaccharides named as hyaluronic acid, keratan sulfate, and chondroitin sulfate. These combine with the protein to form proteoglycans. Now regarding types of cartilages, first is hyaline cartilage. This cartilage appears glossy and shiny, appears like a glass. It contains type 2 collagen fibers, which are thin and delicate. Extracellular matrix contain proteoglycan, and hyaline cartilage is found in nose, trachea, and larynx, costal cartilages, and articular surfaces in a joint. This provides flexibility to body part, provides support to the body parts. So this is a diagram. In this diagram of hyaline cartilage, this is the ground substance, this one pink colored ground substance. So this is a lacuna. Lacuna contains an osteocyte. So another type is elastic cartilage. It contains predominantly yellow fibers or elastic fibers made of elastin protein. Elastic cartilage is found in external ear or pinna, epiglottis. It provides flexibility and shape to the body tissue. Third cartilage is fibrocartilage. This cartilage contains thick and dense collagen fibers, belong to type 1. Fibrocartilage is present in intervertebral disc, pubic symphysis, and meniscus of knee. These serve as strong body tissue for support, strength, and serve as shock absorber. Then what are the functions of a cartilage? Cartilage provides support, provides flexibility to body tissue. As a shock absorber, it reduces friction in body parts. It serves as shock absorber, and it is a precursor for bone formation during ossification.